In this video, I'm going to give you 8 ways to conquer and master the keto diet so you could avoid things like the keto flu and brain fog and just get the amazing fat burning benefits, brain fog removing benefits of keto. And number 8 on this list is going to be controversial. It's going to be very different than what you've been taught before, and a lot of the influencers in the health space might not like what I have to say about number 8. So without further ado, here are 8 ways to succeed on the keto diet.
Whoa, just like that, I'm here at the Keto Camp HQ. You see, keto gives you superpowers. I'm able to teleport. All right, so just like I promised you, I'm about to share with you 8 ways that keto can become very successful for you long term. This is the ultimate beginner's guide to the keto diet, but don't let that confuse you. If you've been doing keto for a while, this is going to be very valuable for you too. Oh, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Ben Azadi. I am a best-selling author. I'm a certified functional health practitioner, and I'm on a mission to educate 1 billion people on planet Earth, and I'm grateful that you're spending part of your day with me. The number one way to succeed on the keto diet is to gradually decrease your carbohydrates as you gradually increase your healthy fats. If you drop your carbs too fast, these are going to be the symptoms you're going to experience. Hypoglycemia. The body is a sugar burner. Most people are burning sugar as their primary fuel source. Our cells could only burn fat or sugar. If you've been a sugar burner for several years and you just dramatically drop your carbs, guess what's going to happen? A decrease, a huge drop in your blood sugar, which could result in some issues. Fatigue. A lot of people who are not fat adapted yet, they get really tired when they drop their carbs too fast. Their body is starved essentially. Their cells are starved with glucose, and that's what they've been taught to run on. Intense hunger and cravings, because the body's not used to decreasing carbs like that and eating all these fats. So when you just go all in like that, your body, your brain, which has been taught to run off of glucose, when you're not getting that glucose spike because you're not eating all those carbs, you've cut it out all too fast, then your brain is starving, and your brain is going to send the body an intense signal for hunger to get those carbohydrates, to get the sugar, to fulfill its desire of raising glucose and feeding it what it wants. You see, the brain just wants to survive. The body just wants to survive, and it will send you an intense signal to do so. Dizziness is very common, just not feeling yourself, and brain fog, having just a lack of focus and being forgetful and forgetting a lot of things. So the way that I teach it is to start dropping your carbs, 25 to 50 total carbs each week. So if you do a calculation and you determine that you're eating 200 grams of carbs every day and you want to get into ketosis, well then drop that to 150, somewhere between 175 and 150. Do that for about a week and then drop it to 100. Do that for a week and then drop it to 50. Keep doing that until you get to about 25 grams of net carbs per day. Net carbs are your total carbs minus fiber. You can use an app like MyFitnessPal to track your total carbs. That's a proper way to get through and get fat adapted without experiencing any of this. So that's a huge start right there for you. Number 2, you want to increase your intake of green leafy vegetables. The reason is because the most important electrolyte is potassium. We actually require 4,700 milligrams of potassium every single day. Sounds like a lot. Well, it is a lot. Do you know how much a banana has? Because bananas have been called the high potassium fruit. Banana only has 400 milligrams of potassium. We need 4,700 milligrams. There's a problem there because we don't want to eat a whole bunch of bananas. That's not keto. So how do we get our potassium requirement, which is a very important electrolyte, without eating a whole bunch of bananas? The answer is green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables, add these to your diet. If you eat about 7 to 10 cups of these every day, you're going to hit your requirement. What does that mean for you? You're going to feel really good. You're going to get a lot of the benefits of the keto diet, and you're not going to get any of the side effects. So add these to your grocery list. Beet tops, that's probably the highest of potassium right here on the list. Kale, spinach, spring mix, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, arugula, and I know avocados are not a green leafy vegetable, but it's a great source of potassium. It actually has 2 times the potassium of a banana. So this should be the majority of your plate right here, especially as you're getting fat adapted with the keto diet to get those electrolytes in. I know what you're thinking, Ben, how the heck am I going to eat 7 to 10 cups of green leafy vegetables every day? Here's how I teach it. You don't have to eat it raw in a big plate. You could saute it with some olive oil and some mushrooms, that'll help break it down. So sauteing is an option for sure. It also helps break a lot of the oxalates down. Or you can put it into your smoothie. So there's different ways to get it in. The more consistent you are, the better you'll feel. All right, this is probably the number one reason why people feel like crap on the keto diet. Sluggish bile. You see, the liver produces something called bile. It's stored in the gallbladder, and what it is essentially it is a detergent for fat. It helps break down fat. And when you go keto, you're gonna eat more fat. And most people have a sluggish fatty liver and sluggish bile, meaning they can't break down fat. What ends up happening is they feel like crap and they end up auto-intoxicating themselves. That's why tip number 3 here, take a digestive enzyme with ox bile in it and eat high amounts of bitter-rich foods. So first of all, I take Systemic Formula's Digest. I'm gonna put a link for that supplement that I personally take down below. I also like Thorne Biogest. Great, you would have 1 to 2 capsules before each fatty meal. It's gonna help you stimulate healthier bile so you can break down and process that fat. So if you've been getting diarrhea or constipation on the keto diet, this is gonna be a game changer for you. Now you also wanna include these bitter-rich foods that help stimulate natural production of bile. Before I get into that list, bile has a very important job of taking toxins out of the body. In fact, the amount of healthy bile that you have is proportional to the amount of toxins you could remove out of the body. So include these dandelion greens. You could also get dandelion tea from Yogi, arugula, which made the previous list, ginger, organic shade-grown coffee. Coffee is very important to get organic because it's the #1 sprayed crop in the world. I like Purity Coffee. They've done the most studies on their coffee and it tastes delicious. Purity's the best. I'll put a link for them down below. Dark chocolate, about 70 to 75% or more. Green tea and cocoa, or cacao. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this one right here, that's gonna be great for you as well. And a bonus tip for you is to add some digestive bitters to the mix. Moonshine makes a great digestive bitter. You just put it in your water, drink that throughout the day. That'll also help with bloating, gas, and indigestion. All right, number 4, find an accountability partner. This could be your best friend, it could be a coworker, it could be somebody else who's also wants to get healthy and lose weight with keto and fasting. Somebody who is aligned with what you want to accomplish, who actually has integrity to hold each other accountable. Or it could be a coach, a health coach, somebody like me. You could be in my Keto Camp Inner Circle, or you could find somebody that you enjoy learning from and pay them to hold you accountable. You see, accountability is the glue that ties your goals to your results. And that's from my mentor, Bob Proctor. Something else you can do that I found very helpful for myself and for my clients is a tip I learned from the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. He talked about setting up cues in your day to help you with healthier habits. And he gave the example of somebody who said they wanted to run every single morning. So what they did the night before was put their running shoes and their running clothes on the counter so they see it in the morning as a cue to signal them to go for the run. So they didn't have to think about getting their shoes, they didn't have to think about finding their clothes. It was already set out, and that helped develop that habit. Remember, it takes 66 days to develop a habit. That's when your brain creates these new pathways, and it could be a good habit or it could be a bad habit. The thing about habits is that the chains of habits are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. So let's make sure we're developing healthy habits. So some things you can do for these cues on the keto diet are going to be a reminder on your phone. Maybe it's an alarm you set off to take your digestive enzymes, to take your supplements that are going to help you feel better with the keto diet. Maybe it's using an app that tracks your progress. That's also been beneficial for a lot of my clients. And then lastly, you could post sticky notes around your house that maybe motivational quotes or reminders of why you're doing the things that you're doing. Remember, discipline equals freedom. Whenever you feel discouraged, whenever you feel like you want to give up, it is never about the setback. It is always about the get back. My motto and my mantra, discipline equals freedom. Okay, this is an important tip right here. Number 5. Sweat out the toxins and use something called bind. Here's the deal. When you start burning fat on the keto diet, it's amazing. But fat stores toxins because toxins love fat. Actually, there's something called the PPARY, When toxins enter the body, and let's face it, there are toxins everywhere. The perfume you wear, the detergent you're using, the water that you're drinking or the water that's coming through your shower filter, car fumes, silver fillings, moldy homes, pesticides, the list goes on and on and on. We are bombarded with toxins. So what the body does, it's smart. It wants to survive. It doesn't want to let those toxins enter your body and go to your vital organs. So it creates fat cells through this process, the PPARY, because toxins love fat. So when you start burning fat on the keto diet, you're releasing a lot of toxins into the bloodstream. And if you don't put a structure in place, guess what happens? You end up re-intoxicating yourself and you feel like crap. Have you ever done the keto diet and felt like crap? Or have you heard of a friend who's done the keto diet and felt like crap? This is exactly why. So there's two ways that I teach my clients to get these toxins out of the body so you do not auto-intoxicate yourself. Number one, it's gonna be get a sweat going. Jump up and down on a trampoline, do some jumping jacks, go into a sauna, go work out. That's gonna help activate your lymphatic system, which moves toxins through the body. So that's one way. It is a good tip and you can do that on a daily basis. Something else is take a product called Bind. Bind is from Systemic Formulas and you would take it before bed. You would take 4 to 6 before bed. What it does is when you're asleep at night, the liver, which produces bile, which removes toxins, remember I told you that, it dumps overnight. The liver does a lot of work, a lot of cleaning overnight. It dumps the bile. So what the Bind does, it kind of acts as a catcher's mitt and it grabs those toxins from your body and it puts it into the toilet the next day. This is a very powerful binder for the big boys, the big toxins. It's much more powerful than cilantro and chlorella. Those don't get the big boys. So taking Bind before bed is huge. You could also take that before a fatty meal, about 30 minutes before a fatty meal, because your liver also dumps when you eat a fatty meal, especially things like grass-fed ghee. Just make sure you're not taking Bind with any other supplements or medication because it might interfere with that. Okay, you've probably heard this one before, and I teach it a little bit differently. When you go keto, it's important to replenish your electrolytes every single morning. When you burn down your sugar reserves on the keto diet, which is a great thing, you want to do that. That's your liver glycogen stores. We store about 2,000 calories. So as we burn that down, we're going to start losing weight. But here's the thing, the body also dumps electrolytes when you burn down your sugar reserve. So if you don't replenish your electrolytes, guess what happens? The keto flu, brain fog, you feel like crap. That's why I recommend the Keto Camp Ketogenic Cocktail. That is a lot of K's right there. I should have worded that differently. So that includes 16 ounces of high quality water first thing in the morning. I like spring water. I like actually drink hydrogen water. Hydrogen rich water from Trucy is what I drink. You don't have to be fancy like me. You could have spring water. A pinch of high quality salt in that water. I like Redmond's real salt. You could also use a sea salt or a Himalayan salt, not a standard table salt. That's not good. And then also a pinch of cream of tartar, which you could also buy from Frontier. And you just put that in there, it has electrolytes. Then you put 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You stir it together, you drink that in the morning. That'll help replenish your electrolytes so you never get the keto flu and you feel good. Okay, we're almost at number 8. And remember, number 8 is gonna be controversial and it's gonna really be shocking to you. We'll get there in a second. Number 7, once you become fat adapted, then you have earned the badge to practice intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting and keto, they go hand in hand. But here's the thing, you wouldn't just hop off of your couch and run a marathon, would you? Same thing with fasting. You wouldn't be a sugar burner for so many years and then go right into it. There needs to be a muscle and some training that needs to happen before the event takes place. So this event is going to be fasting. Fasting is so beneficial beyond weight loss. I mean, we have autophagy that occurs during fasting when your body starts recycling damaged cells. Think of Pac-Man going through your body, eating bad cells and proteins. You also have new stem cell growth, so you're gonna turn off bad genes. So fasting is beyond weight loss benefits, and you want those benefits. But if you do it too early, it's not gonna look ugly. Just like that person who hopped off the couch and ran a marathon, it looked ugly and they didn't make it. Same thing with fasting. So you wanna get keto adapted first, teach your body to keep glucose and insulin low, then you begin fasting. Now, as you get keto adapted, You could cut out the snacking and just have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then when you start producing ketones, you could test with your blood, keto mojo, then you do some fasting. All right, we reached the point of the video that I'm about to share with you something very controversial, and this is the way I've taught it, and I've found this through my research and my experience that this is the best way to get long-term keto results. So without further ado, drum roll please. Do not stay in ketosis too long. Why? Well, let's think about this. If we study ancient culture, there is not one culture in the history of this world that ever stuck with one diet long-term. They adapted to their environment, and that adaptation creates amazing things. When we change and vary our diet, our hormones become sensitive, more sensitive. The receptor sites around our cells that hormones attach to become more sensitive. So we want fat to be our primary fuel source, but not our only fuel source. Because the body is very clever, and what happens is that it wants to survive. So when you've just been in ketosis for months and months and sometimes even years, the body will send a signal into the cells and it will slow down fat burning because it wants to preserve its precious fuel source, which is fat. Think of it as somebody who's in the summer and they're storing firewood for the cold winter months and they have 50 logs of fire. This person is going to be very scarce and it's going to be very cheap with how they want to use that firewood because they only have 50 logs. Now, that's somebody who's been in keto too long. The body is going to preserve and slow down fat burning. Now, let's say this person who's storing the firewood, somebody comes and drops off 200 more logs of firewood. What are they going to do? They're going to be more motivated to start burning more firewood because they have all this other firewood coming in. Same thing with the keto diet. When you have these flex days, I call it, high healthy carb days, you teach your body that it's not starving and it starts to actually burn more fat. And here's actually the most important point I want to make here. We need insulin from carbohydrates to make specific hormone conversions, one of them being the thyroid hormone. So we're made up of trillions of these cells, 50 to 70 trillion cells actually. And here's how it works. Every cell has these receptor sites for our hormones to attach to. Goes into the cell, burns fat, feel good, live a long life. The stored form of thyroid, which is T4. Now this cannot be used by the cell. There's no receptor sites that can use the thyroid hormone T4. It needs to be converted to thyroid T3, which goes into the cell, and then you feel good, you burn fat. Do you know what makes this conversion? Insulin. An insulin spike. So what happens is when we stay in keto too long, we end up wrecking this conversion here, and our thyroid suffers because of it. So we want to throw in high healthy carb days, I call them keto flexing, periodically when we have been in keto for a little bit. What's a little bit? Well, it depends on the person. I teach my Keto Camp Inner Circle members how to know when to flex. The point is that you don't want to stay in keto all the time. You want to build up this metabolic machinery, develop metabolic flexibility so you could earn the badge, earn the right to flex in and out of keto. You'll use keto to be in keto most of the time, not all the time. And that, my friends, is how you thrive on the keto diet long term. This has been fun. I'm about to show you an outro video of me at a different location. You ready? You ready for me to transport?
Well, there you have it. I know I told you it was going to be different. Number 8 might have shocked you, but I'm telling you, if you follow these 8 steps, you're going to feel so good long term. You're going to look good, you're going to feel good. So if this was helpful to you, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I would look forward to seeing you in the future very soon. Thanks for watching.